What's going on, guys? So, I just watched Mike Lindell's latest documentary, Scientific Proof. After his first documentary, Absolute Proof. And basically, he had on a very successful and long-time career physicist on, and this individual is somebody that has, across a couple of states already, but as time goes, we'll evaluate more states. By every single county within the state, the population, voter registration, total number of votes, things like that, basically showing in many cases that there were more people registered to vote in that county than actually existed in that county at the time. And there was, when you looked at the registered votes and the ballots that were actually placed, it was an identical to, I think it was a 86%, 86% of the people who actually placed ballots were registered to vote, which, in one county, fine, whatever, but the exact same percentage, and they explain based on the exact same algorithms across an entire state, doesn't line up. And they use mathematics to show this. And for all of you that know statistics, the correlation coefficient, or R value, that basically shows the accuracy or validity of a model, was, in some cases, 1, which perfect correlations, they don't happen. They just don't. In theory, they do, but in real world situations where, people are involved, they don't happen. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but in statistics and in scientific research, a correlation of 0.9 is considered very strong, very good. And as you approach 1, it gets even better, right? But they broke it down county by county and they graph it out for you. I highly recommend watching. My words don't exactly do it full justice, and that's because I'm just someone watching it. I'm not familiar with this data. I don't deal with it every day. I'm not working with it, but this physicist does that, and he has been doing that. And he's a career scientist saying that this shit just does not happen unless it was a computer algorithm that moderated this. And the whole claim of election fraud, voter fraud, and all of that was largely based around the we've all heard of the Dominion machines, Smartmatic machines, and other related companies. I don't know all of them, but it was about their ability to access the internet and the fact of whether or not they were, which was denied. It was said that they cannot be connected to the internet. They cannot be accessed by an outside source. But, I mean, once again, it's proven to be bullshit. And, you know, you don't want to take the MyPillow guy. I mean, you can say whatever you want about him. Oh, he used to be a crackhead. His brain is fried. Whatever, you know. Well, it's not just him. It's very intelligent people with careers at stake, staking their reputation on this, because that's what it's really come to. You know, you speak about certain things and all of a sudden you're fired from your job. You're a social pariah, you know. Things like that happen. I mean, just social media censorship, all of that type of stuff. It's crazy. But, I mean, go watch this documentary. It's bonkers. I mean, they lay it out for you. And I don't know. You got to be onto something, because all of these states doing audits and recounts and really like taking a look into it. At this point, if that's still happening, it's got to be based on something. And I don't know. I think we're going to be in for some major things. What that is specifically, not sure. Really, very few people know. And most people that claim to know are just telling lies. In some form or another, intentionally or not, that's what it is. Because it gives people false impressions, false hope. And, oh yeah, this is going to happen by this date. Like everybody that thought that Trump would be back in office by now. Well, the way our legal system is kind of set up, it's a slow crawling process in just about everything. I mean, you're on trial for murder and you don't get convicted for a year and a half, 2 years. So, I mean, if you think election fraud allegations and things of that nature are going to happen any faster, kind of shit out of luck. Now, but one thing I will say, one thing we've seen is a lot of these things, like these new audits and stuff, they're already being approved. The teams are being picked. People are making moves on this very quickly. And I think that's great, because it's either going to show that our legal system isn't a completely captured operation, or it'll show that it is. And from what I've heard from people that I listen to, that's kind of what the military is waiting on. They have been working and they have been at play, but very covertly, to avoid, you know, mass panic, violence in the streets, the tanking of the US dollar, things like that, that ultimately would just destroy the way of life that people have now, and would basically turn things into war on the streets. Obviously, nobody wants that, so got to take a little bit more of a gentle approach. It's just kind of how it is. You know, we could have potentially had this solved by now if we, and I say we, I'm not involved in it, but if like the military and other associated people just went after it. But they didn't. And they can't.